So we're back in the garden here today. I don't really have a good setup here today. I forgot my cameras at home, so I'm doing it on my phone. Don't have a tripod, so I just started getting into working. This is September 2nd here, I believe. So I just jumped right into hauling up onions out of my beds. Didn't really get any footage of that at all. But here's the harvest, which is it's a lot of onions, man. So I'm going to keep some of these. I'll eat them fresh. I'll probably cut up half of them and freeze them, and then I'll take another, probably like 20% of them and make like dehydrate them, make some powder and stuff out of them. These are some carrots and stuff that are, some of them are ready to come up. And then what I'm going to do here is plant a bunch of seeds here, like bok choys. And so anyway, it's pretty cool. We're coming to the end of the season here now, and stuff's starting to die back. Or the apple tree here is getting a little bit of a leaf miner damage, which is what it is. It's not a big problem right now. The tree will survive and it will come back next year. In the years going forward, I'm going to have to get some kind of spray. There's a spray called BTK, which is it's just a type of bacteria, and it basically thins out and kills any of the worms and stuff that live on the leaves. Like here's one right here. This guy. So what he does is he makes like a net or like a web, and then lays his eggs and stuff, and the leaves curl up, and they end up looking like this. So it's not ideal, but it is what it is for now. And otherwise, things are looking great here in the garden. And even though it's September 2nd, it's really hot out, and it's kind of uncomfortable. But that's the nature of this game: is discomfort, flies, heat, sweating, physical labor. But even though all those things are a little bit annoying, it's still worth doing it for me anyway. I think so. To spend the time in here in nature, and no people around, spending my time the way I like it, and it's very calming and very, very rewarding as well. I did a poor job of capturing all this because I didn't anticipate to be digging all this up today. And I left my tripod and my attachments at home. But here's the onion haul I got. And look at some of these. These are huge. That's great. I don't know how heavy that is, but it's a lot of onions. And this is another assortment that I picked up. These are all primarily red onions here, right here, and then there's another couple yellow onions. So it's almost fell down there. It's pretty hot here today, so I don't really feel like continuing to do a whole lot of work. But I'm kind of in the middle of it here now, so I'm going to continue to do that. Plant some more seeds in this bed. I'm just going to do a bunch of bok choys and turnips and stuff, and just let it grow. And whatever grows, we'll let it happen. And then hopefully harvest it maybe the end of October or something. All this other stuff is doing pretty good here. This is all bok choy in here. I planted a bunch more as well, and some spinach and stuff. And these beets here that I planted a couple of weeks ago, these are doing great. The tomato situation got out of control pretty fast. A lot of the plants are falling down, but they're not dead and they're still growing, so I'm gonna just leave it the way it is and try to keep it somewhat contained. But they got super out of control, which is the downside of not pruning off the suckers and stuff. They just go crazy. And I think maybe next year, this year I kind of dropped the ball on this year I kind of dropped the ball on having them staked and anticipating all of the vigorous growth. But whatever, we've still got a pretty big harvest and stuff, so it is what it is. I've also realized this year that the land that I got here. Might not seem like a whole lot when you're looking at bigger areas and stuff, but it's actually quite a big area to take care of all by yourself. And various different plants growing and stuff, so it's about the limit that I could do. And you know, working a job and stuff too, it's a lot of work. The first part of the year usually ends up pretty good because you can set it all out, everything's nice, there's no weeds or anything growing up. But then as time goes on and then stuff grows more vigorously, stuff just gets out of hand way too quickly. Like the squashes over there, where the two right there, those are gone crazy. This is one tomato plant which is in various states of falling down, but there's a lot of growth on it. And what I'm going to do is, before those tomatoes turn fully red, I'm going to pick them at the stage that they're currently at to try and dissuade any sort of squirrels or rabbits and shit getting into it. And the squash here is really taking off. And there's actually a lot of squash growing on this vine. It's kind of hard to see because it's in amongst the other growth and stuff here, but like here's one fairly mature. They've got another couple of weeks to go. Another one here. There's two right here. It's another couple. Another one here. So I haven't counted them, but I'd say there's probably like a dozen, probably more. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this was probably like a dozen squash, which is pretty good. I wasn't really growing it to get like a massive harvest. My main concern, or my main priority with putting the squash in the bed, is this is a new bed for this year. So the idea was to put as much stuff in the bed as I can, get as many roots in the ground as I can, and get as much green growth as I can. So when these plants are done and the squashes are mature, I'll harvest them. I'll cut the plant off at the ground level, just cut up all these leaves, put it back on the soil, and then the roots will feed this microbial activity, and then all the leaves and stuff will just be mulch to keep the bed moist and just break down over the winter. So it's kind of like a two-tier thing. Get a bit of food, also grow my soil. My elderberry plant, one of my elderberry plants, doesn't have a whole lot of fruit on it this year, but it has grown a lot, and it's put up this little runner here. I've got another one over there right in the middle of the screen that's doing great as well. This is a new plant I put here. This is a yew plant, and in the Norse pantheon of gods, the yew tree is the tree of Odin, which to me is a kind of a special thing to have here. After all, this is my heathen path. And I have another couple of plants here as well that I'm going to put in this area. So I'll be doing that coming up over the fall now.